Well, hello again for the first time actually from here on the steps of the Milburn Stand, and today of all days, what an appropriate place to bring you these reflections right here on the step where Kevin Keegan sought to explain to angry Newcastle fans why he had sold Andy Cole to Manchester United. Now, Newcastle fans, you guys certainly aren't angry today, and it was the display, the tribute to Kevin Keegan, which kicked off today, of course, but we can only start at one place, and that isn't with a former manager, but with the current manager, Eddie Howe. Now, last night brought the news, the worrying news, that Eddie was in hospital. The statement read that he was conscious and talking. Now, I understand why that would have caused alarm. I think the language used there was to indicate that he is awake, that he is okay in that regard. He is engaging, he is communicating, and the really good news to come from today, and we've just spoken to Jason Tindall inside there, was that Howe was able to watch the game and that he was able to send a text message on full time congratulating Tindall and the players on the result. So that's the positives. In terms of an update as to Eddie's general health, well, we don't know. There's been nothing since last night, but Jason Tindall was speaking about the sooner he is back coaching the team, the better, and I took real heart from that, and I'm sure you guys will too, because just before we go on to the game, you know, he's more than a manager. He's someone that us guys as journalists have got to know. We've got to know the man behind the manager, and I use the phrase, and I think this is a pretty powerful phrase, and I heard it recently when I was out in Sweden. I went to do the background piece on Alexander Isak before the cup final, and I asked a couple of the guys there who knew him really well. I said, just in a few words as possible, describe Alex to me, and one of them just said so simply, he said, I like him. And I thought, wow, you know, for all of the hundreds and thousands of words that we like, I would really like it if someone said that about me. I like him. And not many of you guys might say that, but I would say that about Eddie Howe. I've, over the years, had run-ins with various managers. You know what I think of the current one. And to boil down everything I've written and everything I've said about him, I'll use these three words. I like him. I think he's a genuine, I'm going to go on and give more words now. I think he's just a genuine person. Forget manager. I'm not going to talk about him as a head coach, all the work he's done here. I've committed all of that to print and broadcast so many times. He's exceptional, he's outstanding. He is the reason they are where they are. I said that after the cup final and then the video on Wembley Way. But as a person, he's hard-working, he's intelligent, he's, just trust me on this, he's just a genuine, brilliant guy, and that is why players buy into him. That is why journalists like myself buy into him, and it's not because I want to curry favour or have a good relationship with them. I would have done that with previous managers if that was the best way forward. No, I do it because I believe in him and because he deserves it. And when that news dropped there yesterday, I was as worried and concerned as you guys were, and I still am. I really still am, but that today, what Jason has said afterwards, that's encouraging. It really is, you know. And so, Eddie, if you are watching, our thoughts, prayers, absolutely. I think I'll echo this of all the viewers here, go with you. But that today, well, that would have cheered the spirits, no doubt, because your team, the team, they were excellent. Let's pick over how they achieved this win, a big win as well. I said in the pre-match video how important it was for Newcastle to get that victory today on so many levels, to, you know, for the manager, for themselves, for the context of the season, to take them back into the top four with the game in hand over all of their rivals, the game in hand back here against Palace on Wednesday night. We have to win, they'll go third, and if you look at the mechanics, the mathematics involved in the table, well, the results this weekend have gone the way, you know, everything has fallen for them right now, and if they can continue to do their job, they really are. You look at it, and the nature of the performance coupled with the result today, that today would tell me that absolutely their Champions League prospects now are not only is their destiny in their own hands, I would fully 100% go and back them to go on and carry this momentum into those remaining 7 matches. It was 10 post-cup final, it's 3 victories since then, it's now 7. And what it could only be, potentially, mathematically, 3 victories and a draw away from securing that top 5 finish. But that's for tomorrow. For today, let's reflect on this performance. The best performance post-cup final, absolutely by a distance. I said I felt they would rise to the occasion, and they did. Now, Eddie Howe wasn't here and he didn't have any part in preparations, but you would have thought he'd given the team talk by the manner in which Newcastle started. What was it, 2 seasons ago? If they want a fast game, let's effing give them one, which was captured so brilliantly in the Amazon documentary. Well, you would have thought that was the team talk today. The players went out as if they wanted to send a get well cheer across the city to Eddie's hospital bed as fast as they possibly could. And that aggression and that energy with which they started, and the offside flag denies Joe Linton the opening goal. Well, after that start, and I dare say it was supercharged by the emotion of Eddie not being there, and the players would have been as desperate for news as everybody is. They went out there and they played with a hunger and a passion and a real emotion about themselves. Well, understandably to a degree, that faded a little bit. They had 1 or 2 chances, half chances. The execution wasn't quite there. And when the opening goal actually came, it came at a spell where there was a little bit of a lull in the game and in the stadium as well. But wow, what a goal it was. We had to wait until the 24th minute for it, but it's the sort of goal you would sit there and wait 24 hours for. And Sandro Tonali, now the assist from Alexander Isak, it deserves a goal. It's absolutely, is it a heavy touch? Is it a good touch or a bad touch? I don't know. The original one into him, it lobs up in the air, but what he then does with the second touch to lob it in behind Lemmy Euro, it's just exquisite, it's just sensational. It's begging to be put in the back of the net. Now, Eddie Howe often says that he fears for his goalkeeper's wrists in training, given how hard Sandro Tonali can now hit a football. Well, this dispatch, it had power and it had precision. It was just incredible, the finish. Manchester United standing goalkeeper got nowhere near it. They could have had Onana and his deputy in goal, and they wouldn't have been able to save that. It was just incredible strike into the bottom corner. And for all of the debate about whether he meant that winner last time out here against Brentford, he absolutely meant this one. Just a brilliant finish, and that puts Newcastle on their way at 1-0. And just we'll get to the merit stars. Tonali might just feature, but he right now really is. He's Newcastle. He's the gladiator, another gladiatorial display, and he is their sword and shield at the moment, for all the work he does going in the other direction. He's scoring goals and contributing going forward as well. Just brilliant. And that sets them on their way. And then they have a spell where they're brilliant. Isak gets him behind. The goalkeeper makes a brilliant save from Isak volley. Tino Livramento is a real nuisance again, getting up high on the left, as he did do again in the second half. But that spell passes, and it's actually Newcastle's best spell of the game. Or certainly their best spell of the game to that point. And Manchester United break and they score a goal, and it's a good goal. It is a good goal. Diego Dalot goes through the middle. He's actually given a little bit too much time and space. He notices the supporting run of Garnacho on his right, and he finds him with a brilliant reverse pass. But from that point, because Newcastle look so full of, I've got some sympathy with them, but because they're so full of confidence, and because the first goal came from them pressing so high up the pitch, that relentless press that led to a Manchester United mistake, one of many that led to the first goal. They were so encouraged by that they continued to do it, and that is why they had bodies committed forward. That is why they had players out of position. Manchester United break, and to be fair to them, it's a good execution. It's a good goal, and that's 1-1. And do you worry? Well, you got the half time, and I would say 1-1 was just about fair. Now, I thought Newcastle had played well, but at the same time, Manchester United had more possession. I was a little bit surprised by that. They had a couple of good chances. Nick Pope had made a really good save from Zirkzee. He actually had a good little exchange with Bruno Fernandes. So Manchester United weren't without chances, and Newcastle's period of brilliance, when I thought they were really on top, had probably been confined to the first 5 minutes and the 10 minutes after they scored. So it wasn't free-flowing, excellent stuff and aggressive stuff throughout. Well, the second half was. They come out and I thought they were sensational. That team, I did it in my WhatsApp, the voice note in the WhatsApp group I've got for Newcastle fans before, link in the description below, by the way, before the game. I said, this team just looks so much better than Manchester United on paper, and we saw it on grass down at Old Trafford before Christmas. I've always said Newcastle is better got better players than Manchester United, better manager than Manchester United, better recruitment than Manchester United. They should be beating them and doing the double over them. First time they've done that in more than 70 years, by the way. But they go out in the second half, and not just do they look better, they just look far superior in every department. And it only takes 4 minutes for them to regain the lead. Now, all of the good work Diego Dalot did in creating that first Manchester United goal, he undid it with his part in the second goal by doing no work at all in preventing Tino Livramento. He faces up to him. I was going to say, I'm so used to being inside the stadium, I was going to say he faces up to him over on the East Stand touchline there. There is no East Stand touchline, it's through there somewhere, but he does that. He shows him where to go. The only problem for Man United was the route he showed him was into the box and he was away. Tino Livramento took the invitation. He didn't have to ask him twice. Drives into the box, puts it to the far post where Jacob Murphy appears, pulls it back. Harvey Barnes steals in, thunders in to put it in the back of the net. Jacob Murphy with another assist. That's 17 goal contributions, I think it is, and he's in about pretty much the same amount of games. Please correct me below the line in terms of the exact number. Thomas Tuchel was sat behind us in the press box. He was up in the stands there. And is he watching Murphy? Well, you know, that sort of thing a while ago, you might have said sort of tongue-in-cheek, well, why not? Is there a better in-form English right winger in the Premier League right now? You would argue not, in terms of, you know, he's up against two wingers in the Newcastle teammates, Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes. He's actually contributing more than them right now in terms of that consistency for goal contributions. Murphy with the assist, that's 2-1 in it. It's not in doubt by that point. I always take you inside this, you know, my insight. I'm writing the match report, and from that point onwards, I'm committing absolutely to a Newcastle victory and a Manchester United defeat. Link in the description below to the match report as well. I did enjoy writing this one. So much to go at. Goodness, on the day you've got Manchester United playing the way they were, the goalkeeper being dropped, the Keegan display, Eddie Howe and everything around that. Just a really newsy afternoon. Is it ever not, you know, going all the way back to when Kevin stood on these steps. Just a brilliant club to be around, and another brilliant afternoon, which we're only halfway through dissecting. So let's kick on. That's 2-1, and Newcastle are in the ascendancy. They really do smell blood in the water now, and they're going for the third goal. And it's Harvey Barnes again. It's a Manchester United error. Mazuri. Possession midway inside his own half, but there's pressure. You know, players make mistakes when they're under pressure, when they're fearing that aggressive press, and that is what Newcastle had. Under pressure, he slips, Harvey Barnes takes it. Now, where were Manchester United centre-halves, Yoru and Lindelof, when Barnes stole in to get Newcastle's second? Well, they were still on the missing list by the time he got Newcastle's third. Barnes collects the ball, drives straight through the middle, and what a finish. That's a player playing with confidence. Now, I've been an advocate for a while now, not dropping Gordon, not at all, but I've always said that we can't really judge Harvey Barnes until he has a run in the team. You know, it's hard for players coming in and coming out, and I said in the pre-match video, for all he's been good in the cup final and post-cup final, I don't think he's been brilliant. Well, I thought he was brilliant today. He went to another level today, which with a run of games isn't any surprise. He goes through the middle, and that finish, that's a player who's full of confidence right now. Ping, top corner, 3-1. I think I said game over at 2-1. It's absolutely game over at 3-1. And from that point on, really, it's a case of, you know, you're actually thinking, given how tight some of the numbers are at the top of the table there, it's a chance to put a little bit of gloss on it and extend that goal difference. And that to do, Bruno Guimaraes, who gave substance to those chants of there is only one Bruno. Well, yeah, that was the cherry on the cake. It's a mistake by the goalkeeper doing something which he shouldn't have. It's the Geordie journos leave there. Yeah, there are other videos are available. They're just not as good. Great lads. But yeah, so goalkeeper tries something he probably shouldn't try, which is a clever chip into midfield, not very smart at all actually. Joe Linton intercepts, header down to Bruno Guimaraes. There is only one Bruno, and he puts it back past the Falloon goalkeeper for 4-1, and that's it. Yeah, deserved victory, brilliant team performance. You know, that muscle memory. Eddie Howe didn't have to be there today, because what he drills into those players, that muscle memory, they're just far stronger. It showed it, you know, than Manchester United, in a brilliant victory that takes them back into the top four. And given all of that emotion and uncertainty, and, you know, could there be a little bit of anxiety coming into today, given the situation with Eddie? Well, they channeled it in absolutely the right way, and there were just brilliant performances all over the pitch, which takes us on to the merit stars in ascending order. Now, for me today, what wasn't difficult was picking the three players who should occupy the podium, even though there was plenty of competition. But I thought these three were by far the standout. It was harder deciding in which order, but I'm going to go starting with the 1 star, and that's Tino Livramento from left back. Now, he did his best work attacking wise. I think, you know, once or twice going in the opposite direction. He's still got work to do there. And Jason Tindall on the touchline did seem a little bit, unsettled at times and giving instruction to Livramento. And Manchester United were getting him behind on the right, and that is where their goal did come from. But wow, going the other way, hasn't he really? You know, I said for a little while that Livramento bounced into the England squad a little bit this season. I didn't think he was necessarily as worthy of the call-up as Lewis Hall was on the opposite flank, and I thought that might have been a little bit of a negative, but certainly in recent weeks, don't forget it's on his wrong side as well. He is deputising for Luke of the injured Hall at left back. In recent weeks, he's been fantastic. He really has. He's taken, you know, to use that phrase, he's taken control of his own destinies. He's got the ball, he's drove forward, he's made things happen, he's got in behind, and on the end of it as well, there's been, rather than just putting balls into areas, he's picking players out. He's been tremendous, and today was that as well. And you know, we've always said he is an attacking fullback. His better work is going in that other direction, and to get the ball, and he's dribbling by players, he's dropping his shoulder, he's got that quick little double touch. I thought today his performances are on an upward trajectory. They're getting better and better, really. It was a 3-star performance in many ways, if it wasn't for these other two guys. And the 2 stars, well, they go to Harvey Barnes. How can they not? Again, to parallel it with Tino Livramento, given that run in the team now, he's just getting better and better. And Anthony Gordon was back today, but he shouldn't start against Crystal Palace on Wednesday. If it's a case of, you know, the two go into that one on the left wing, there's only Harvey Barnes who should be starting. And again, next weekend down at Aston Villa, Barnes deserves that run in the team, and he's all round display today. Just had a little bit more aggression about it, a little bit more oomph. He was winning the ball, he was dropping his shoulder, he was cutting in field, he was trying to make things happen. That today was easily his best performance in black and white, backed up by the 2 goals. And the 3, no prizes for guessing. I mean, wow, Sandro Tonali. One of the viewers actually went through a few weeks back and totted up the stars, the total cumulative number of stars, and Sandro Tonali was way out in front. And given that he missed those early weeks of the season, then had to find his way back into the team. Just every time he's playing right now, he's Newcastle's best, invariably. We've used that phrase, the conductor, the gladiator, and it's just a moment I want to pick. It was 1-1 early in the second half, and I think it was Fabian Schär slipped on halfway, and it looked as if Man United were going to get him behind. They had a 10-15 yard head start on Sandro Tonali, and I was watching him. I thought Newcastle's best hope, and only hope really now, of saving a goal is if Sandro Tonali can somehow defy science and make 15 yards the head start Manchester United have got on him. He was the only one travelling with any momentum, and he did it. He charged fully 50, 60, 70 yards, eventually closed down the space in the box, hurt his heel in the process of doing so, and cleared the ball. And that was just, that captures him for me at the moment. There goes Mark. See you, Mark. Good man, Mark Cannon. Speaking of engines, Mark's now off to cycle home. He's another one you see him all about the city, never stops. I've never seen him drive a car, just runs and cycles everywhere. That's what Sandro Tonali is like. In fact, Tonali probably ran home or cycled home from this game. Just incredible, that engine, that will and that want and that capacity to run. There was one in the second half later in the game when he celebrated, he borrows the celebration from Joe Linton when he celebrates a tackle as if scoring a goal in front of the Gallagher end, his arms go up, and that inspires teammates, that inspires the crowd. Don't underestimate what that does, and everything about him today, is he the best midfielder in the Premier League on current form? I think he might just be. So the 3 stars, I don't want any debate below the line, please do debate by the way, but I'm not having anything other than Sandro Tonali today as being Newcastle's number 1 with the 3 stars attached to it. So yeah, guys, I think we'll end there. You know, we've been through the game. It was a fantastic performance on what might have been a different day, given everything around it, but the players were professional and they attached the right amount of emotion and heart and desire and that will and that want to do it for the manager to it. And it's left them in such a fantastic position now for these remaining 7 games. Go and do it. Go and get the Champions League. And, you know, allied to that, wishing Eddie Howe, the manager, all the very best. I think everyone will echo that. And that today from Newcastle's players was a performance for the manager. So, yeah, guys, please hit like, comment, subscribe. And to borrow the words of the man who once famously, infamously stood here, I dare say you guys will love that today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm actually off for a couple of weeks now. I won't be at the game on Wednesday. I have a little bit of time with my kids during the half term. So Yeah, there is more to life than football, as events of the last 48 hours have shown, but the football is bloody good as well. See you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.